What's up, everyone? My name is Ben. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hey, I have a website, WASHYE.com, that you can go to. Find the links in the description of my YouTube channel. Also, hey, if you feel like this video is gonna bless you and help you after you've done watching it, please give to this ministry. Help support me. Help support my efforts. Also, if you have not done so, please like and subscribe to your favorite videos. Subscribe to this channel, but like your favorite videos. Also, look for the comments. I leave most of the comments closed on my channel, but sometimes on the topics that I think are juicy or I want to hear from you guys, I will leave the comments open. So look for that in different videos. I can't tell you which ones I will open it, but it's just a way to kind of moderate. There's a whole many different channels that you can comment on, but on this one I just kind of keep them closed so people can just focus on enjoying the information. And so there are three classes of people that were protected from the great destruction that happened during the time of Noah. There was Enoch, there was Methuselah, and then there was Noah himself. And so I believe these are the three ways that someone will survive the coming tribulation. Okay, let's get into it. So, Enoch, if you're not familiar with Enoch, Enoch is a person that was raptured. He did not die. The only other person that is similar to him is Elijah. Now, it would be great to do a rapture video on Elijah, but you know what? I'm just going to throw him into this little video right here. And I just want to make sure I get the notes for this. And so at the end of this video, I have a little bonus talk on Elijah and how it correlates to the rapture. So, I believe Genesis really describes the man that God is looking for all of us to be. Now, if you were looking for a pre-trib rapture, Enoch is your guy. So Enoch is the one that you want to pattern your life about when you're looking at clues of how to be ready for the pre-trib rapture. Let's go to Genesis 5:21. And let's read a little bit about Enoch. Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. Remember, Methuselah is the second person we're going to talk about when talking about surviving the end of the world, when talking about surviving the coming tribulation that is sometime in the future. Now, we're reviewing today how God has already destroyed the world once in the past. But let's keep on reading. After he begot Methuselah, after Enoch begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and 65 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. One of the reasons God took him, and we don't realize this until we realize the genealogy that is described in the book of Genesis, and how it describes how Enoch and Methuselah would have been alive during the time of Noah's flood, but God supernaturally protected them. And if you look at the genealogies, Enoch should have been a part of Noah's flood. Most scholars will tell you that, and so that's where I'm getting it. I apologize if that's not the right information, but I do believe Enoch was supposed to be a part of Noah's life, including Methuselah. But since God judged the world, God did not want Enoch to be in Noah's ark for some reason. And so Enoch represents the pre-tribulation rapture. And so again, let's read where Enoch is represented in a rapture. A rapture, again, the basic information of a rapture, the basic definition is to be caught up. Rapture just means to be caught up. Now, caught up is found in the Bible, but rapture, the word itself, is not. But hey, You guys should know that by now. If you're watching this video is a little bit for advanced Christians. So people who have been studying the Bible for a while. So I will not, go through some of the basics of the rapture in this video. Okay, let's read again. Genesis 5:24. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Okay, let's go on to Methuselah. And then we're going to do a little bit of a summary of every one. Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech. After he begot Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Guys, it's important to realize how close Methuselah was into being a part of Noah's flood. Now, 969 years. You have to realize Methuselah was the oldest living person in the Bible. He even lived past Adam, the first man. And so realize that God is not a respecter of person when he chooses to bless someone. If your blessing includes long life, you would think it would go to Adam. Adam is the first person. Why wouldn't he live the longest? But God is not a respecter of person. He gives you exactly what you deserve. And so Lamech lived 182 years and had a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because the ground which the Lord has cursed." So guys, people at this point are realizing that, wow, God did curse the ground, and it's harder than it should be. And so Noah was meant to bless his close family, his Lamech, and I would say in extension Methuselah as well. And after he begot Noah, Lamech lived 595 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. Now, interesting. I want to group Methuselah and Lamech in the same kind of category. This is the other way that you are going to get to heaven. So, while we are waiting on the rapture, some Christians will be passing away, meaning they will be falling asleep, meaning they will die before the time of the rapture. And so understand that is another way of how God is protecting someone from the time of the tribulation, is that they reach the end of their years on this earth and they fall asleep. But remember that when a Christian falls asleep, they are immediately in the presence of God in heaven. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And so understand that your soul does not soul sleep. That is misinformation. And so Lamech and Methuselah represents kind of two classes of people. That there are older Christians, guys. There are a lot of Christians who are in their last part of their life, where they're in their 80s, they're in their 70s, they're in their 90s. Guys, these Christians will most likely pass away before the rapture. Now, it's not written in stone, guys. No one knows the day of their hour. So these Christians, the rapture could happen today, guys, and we can all go up. But I just want to explain to you that there are certain patterns that are seen in Scripture of how God is protecting people from the time of the tribulation. If you fall in the category of Enoch, then you will be pre-tribulation raptured, meaning you have not reached the end of your life in the number of years you have, and yet you are not also going to be in the ark. Which brings me up to the story of Noah. Noah is another class of people that I believe will survive the tribulation. And I believe these are people that prepare physically, but they miss the pre-tribulation rapture. Now, guys, some of these things are speculation, guys. I'm throwing some ideas out there. I truly believe that all of the church will be raptured. but they were 5 wise and 5 foolish. The foolish ones did not prepare. The 5 wise did prepare, and they went into the wedding feast. I believe that represents the rapture. But understand that the Bible, when you're talking about just in correlation to the timing of the destruction of the world at one point. Now, we could talk about Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I just want to focus on the first destruction of the whole entire world as a whole, not just one specific city or town or country. So, Noah, how he survived was preparing physically. He built a boat. Now, the Bible does not explain why Enoch was raptured and Noah was just not raptured, but I can give some insight into that. Enoch pleased God. Noah, we have a record of him getting drunk at the end of his time. So he did not fully conquer sin in the way that people should. Doesn't mean he went to hell. It just means that he was not necessarily focused in the same way that Enoch was focused in serving God. Enoch pleased God. He was counted as righteous, and he was taken up into heaven without dying. But Noah, we don't have any record of Enoch sinning, guys. We only have a record of Enoch pleasing God with his life. Now, with Noah, we have a record of him kind of slipping up in some areas. And so I believe that represents certain classes of Christians, some that are overcoming sin and living a victorious, overcoming life. I believe they are going to go in the pre-tribulation rapture, guys. But there is also a class of Christians that may be considered foolish virgins that do not prepare in the right way, even though they may go to heaven when they die. Because that's what the book of Revelation shows us. It shows us that there are people under the altar that were beheaded for their witness of Jesus. But then there are also those that are sitting on thrones, that are ruling and reigning with Christ, that are not asking for God to avenge them for their deaths. They have 2 separate messages that they are saying. So one of them are asking God to avenge them. They may feel like they have been wronged in some way, while this other group is sitting on thrones, ruling and reigning with Christ. And remember, that is one of the rewards for an overcomer, is to rule and reign with Christ. And so, understand that I believe how some people will survive is by preparing physically, whether that be a bunker, building a bunker of some sort, building some sort of building or contraption to survive the time of the tribulation. Maybe some people will be in the International Space Station. I don't know. But I believe the Bible does give some indication that someone can survive the tribulation. Jesus said himself that if the days were not shortened, not even the elect would survive. Meaning that it does imply that the days were shortened so that some of the elect can survive. Now, guys, I truly believe this message, the purpose of this message is to just encourage us that we should be living the life of an overcomer so we can make it in the pre-tribulation rapture. Now, I believe if you feel like you are not going to make it in the pre-tribulation rapture somehow, and this is not funny, guys, even though I'm smiling, this is a very serious discussion. Even though you feel like you may not make it in the pre-tribulation rapture, I think you should be preparing physically. I think you should have stored up food, stored up water. If you have the resources, you are preparing to survive the tribulation. And I personally recommend a bunker, some sort of underground bunker that you can survive all the plagues and tragedies that are going to happen in the tribulation. Now, Noah represents this class of people. Noah is the one that was not pre-tribulation raptured, but yet he still found favor. He was counted as a righteous and perfect man. But there seems to be, I don't know if you've ever caught the scripture, but there is something beyond perfection. Perfection has its limits, guys, and I believe the scriptures give us indication that there is one, you can be perfect and you're blameless, but then there's also someone that pleases God, someone that is in walking with God in close relationship. And so we should be the class of Enoch rather than the class of Noah. But now Noah, they're all to be honored, guys. I don't mean to disrespect Noah and his story. I don't mean to disrespect Enoch and his story. But understand that these are the available possibilities of your future as a Christian or as a person watching this video. These are the ways to escape the tribulation and the time of the end from my studies up until this point, guys. You can either go in a rapture, you can either survive by building a bunker or maybe an international space station or something, or maybe a survival yacht that spends the 7 years of tribulation on the ocean in the middle of nowhere in the ocean somewhere. But guys, the other way that we talked about briefly is like Methuselah and like Lamech. You can fall asleep before the time of the tribulation and you will be immediately in the presence of God, meaning you can die before the time of the rapture happens, and you will immediately be in the presence of God. Now, I want to briefly talk about that. Guys, that is not such a bad option. If you are in your 70s, if you are in your 80s, or if somehow you have been found on your deathbed in some way, shape, or form. Guys, it's not such a bad option to fall asleep before the time of the tribulation, because you will be immediately in the presence of God in heaven, guys. Now, there may be some pain or, emotional discomfort as you transition from this life into the next. But understand that is not such a bad route either, guys, because you will immediately be in the presence of God and you will be in a spiritual body awaiting your resurrection body, or the time of the rapture. You will be waiting for the rapture, but from heaven and no longer in earth. You will be still waiting for a resurrection body, but you'll have a spiritual body, guys. Guys, don't tell me that going to heaven is not, gonna be worth it. Guys, if you fall asleep before the time of the rapture, Paul said to die is gain. So you are in no way losing. You are gaining, as you may fall asleep like Methuselah or Lamech before the time of the tribulation. So guys, I hope this video has blessed you. I truly believe that Enoch represents a pre-tribulation rapture. Noah represents the class of people, which may be few, by the way. I don't know if it's going to be a whole lot of people that survive the tribulation if they have not started preparing now, guys. The signs of the times are at the door, guys. We see so much that if you don't have the money for a bunker, if you don't have the money or the resources for these things, then that would mean you would have to work for them. And that just takes away the time that you have to prepare as the days of the tribulation are approaching. And so our best bet is to either fall asleep or go in a pre-tribulation rapture. That's just my opinion. I think those are the two best options. But if you have the money, if you have the resources, I highly recommend preparing in a physical way like Noah. So guys, I hope this video has blessed you. Thank you so much. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, I have had no one give to my ministry since I started this ministry in 2016. Now, I have not always had an opportunity, a platform for someone to give to me, but I should actually correct that. My loving parents, my loving mom and dad have been giving to my ministry. So God bless my mom, Mickey and Mary. But other than that, guys, I'm looking for support. So if you want to see more professional videos, not just this background, I can make a nice studio. I can really take the time that I need to in order to witness and preach to you guys. Consider giving on my website, WASHYE.com. You can find links in the description of this video, or you can find links in the description of my channel page. Thank you so much, and God bless you.